Joseph F. Facina Stadium in New Rochelle, New York. We are here on a dreary evening for the New York Empire against the Philadelphia Phoenix. My name is Chris McGlynn. I'm alongside Amelia Murphy, here to bring this game to you. Very excited for another AUDL matchup.
Yeah, Chris, we're excited. As Philly has kind of been, let's say, plagued with poor weather this year, we're not surprised it's rainy here in New York.
Not at all.
Last week, New York went down to Philly, was supposed to play. They were only able to get about a one quarter in. It was 6-4 when New York ended. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens here today.
Missing a couple of key players on both sides. Ethan Peck will not be suiting up tonight for the Philadelphia Phoenix. On the New York side, we're missing Marquez Brownlee, Harper Garvey, and Jabron Miser. All three of those players are participating in Beach Worlds this weekend. So definitely going to be a little bit of a different look for both teams. Should be interesting to see how they both adjust.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens on the field. As I was saying earlier, they've kind of had a preview last week. Not as long of a preview as both teams wanted, but they definitely have focused with the practice and week in between to kind of see the matchups we want to see and who can do what. What are some matchups you're excited to see tonight?
Well, whoever ends up guarding Sean Mott for Philadelphia, Sean Mott has been one of the best playmakers in the AUDL. Very exciting player to watch. And actually, I'm disappointed that Marquez Brownlee is not here tonight. I was thinking we would see that matchup at some point. So not having him around is definitely a bit of a blow. But still, there's a number of players on New York. I think we'll end up probably seeing Jeff Babbitt, as you mentioned earlier, probably end up matching up with him, or Ryan Drost. Either one of those would be a great matchup to watch for sure. Anything you got on? Anything you're waiting for?
Oh, I'm waiting for all of it. But I think we're going to have to take a pause now for the national anthem.
Sure.
It looks like we're having some delays here at Joseph F. Facina Field.
Just trying to set up some of the audio equipment, I believe, to get this national anthem underway.
Now that we have a little bit of downtime, we do want to thank our sponsors very quickly. We want to thank Discraft, Chubb Insurance, Match Fit Performance, Rye Ford Subaru, and our beloved Ice Cold Drumline. You'll be hearing them throughout the game. If you have a chance to come down to Joseph F. Facina Field to see them and the Empire play in person, we strongly, strongly encourage you to come down. It's a lively stands even in this rainy day. So, yeah, add it to your list of fun summer activities.
Absolutely. Beautiful place to be as well, surrounded by trees, lots going on here. Really nice stadium set up as well. So I think the players are getting set. I believe we're still... Oh, we're getting started now with the PA system. So once that gets all underway, we should have a really good show in store here. These teams are very familiar with each other, not that far apart. A number of players actually crossing over from the Philadelphia Phoenix a year ago and actually moving to the New York Empire. A lot of familiar faces, I'm sure, on both sides. So a lot of these guys play with or against each other in the club scene as well. There should be plenty of, I don't know, I want to say like rivalries, like those individual player rivalries we'll see play out today along the course of the game.
I also think it's a good chance for us to be reminded on why we also all love the sport of Ultimate, in that the competition will be high, but the sportsmanship, the companionship, and the friendship of everyone on the teams will be clear tonight as well.
Absolutely. These guys know each other well, and as much as they want to win, there's a level of respect for sure. And we're announcing both teams now as Philadelphia comes out to really not much applause right now. That's what happens around the road, I guess. So a little bit of a quieter start here.
And for those at home, just to be reminded, Philadelphia will be in white tonight, and New York Empire will be in black.
Got our starting line here for Philly. Oh, that's Scott Zhu, for all those wandering along his home as well, who, for anybody who can hear the PA system, not wearing his traditional number tonight, will be wearing number 6. So Scott Zhu is number 6 for the Philadelphia Phoenix tonight. A little bit of a curveball for anybody who's been following along with this Phoenix season, but
one thing also to remind the viewers at home that might be different than normal Ultimate or Club Ultimate that they're used to. Here in the AUDL, you can roster 20 people per game. So as you see, the teams will be a little bit thinner when they announce who is on the going to be playing. And with the quarters being 12 minutes in such a wide field, 20 people is not that much. Your legs will get tired by the end of the game.
I'm sure it is a very taxing experience. These guys are running nonstop, and it's an additional 10 yards, almost 15 yards width-wise, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but over the course of an entire 48-minute contest, it really does start to take its toll on the players. So we've got the Philadelphia team all called out now, and now we've got New York Empire being introduced to some applause here in front of the fans. They're a lot more organized, I believe, right now in terms of processing out here. Got everyone in number order. Eileen Murray getting her troops in line.
Yeah, exactly. It also should be mentioned tonight is Eileen Murray's birthday.
Yes.
So happy birthday to you, Coach Murray, and we hope that the New York Empire can bring you a great, exciting game for your birthday.
I'm sure the players would like to do that for her. I'm sure they always get a nice win, move to what would be a really strong start in the East Division, what has been a really strong East Division this year. Toronto still at the top. Seems like they kind of have a bit of a grip, kind of a stranglehold almost on the division right now. Still very early in the season. Toronto playing their home opener this weekend. Actually, they're playing for the first time. They also get a second game against Ottawa on Sunday. So hanging out in Canada for the weekend are the Rush and getting a chance to finally play at home. However, Toronto, despite playing all games on the road, is undefeated so far. So the New York Empire not far behind, looking for another win to draw them ever closer to the Toronto Rush. Philadelphia, on the other hand, coming in at a bizarre 2-2 with a tie on their record as well. In addition to the odd weather we saw last week, we're going to end up hitting to the national anthem now. I'll continue this one right after the break. Very nice rendition of the national anthem here at Joseph F. Facina Field. Really way to get the game started. We're absolutely excited for this one. Philadelphia, as I was mentioning just before we went to the anthem, is got a tie on their record this year. Bit of an odd statistics to see in Ultimate, not something that we're usually familiar with, but an 18-18 game that was called due to weather down in Philadelphia earlier this year against the DC Breeze made sure that we end up with a weird tie on that Philadelphia ledger. So they're coming in at 2-1. The New York Empire coming in at 3-1 tonight. So looking to see who can get some bragging rights as well as gain some ground in this East Division.
It's interesting because the New York Empire has come off a huge win 2 weeks ago against the DC Current here at home. It went to the last minute buzzer Babbitt catching literally the last second score over 2 DC players. A huge win. After that, New York having to go to Philly on the road to have it be a shortened game. New York still having momentum, though, and Philly just game after game after game seeing rain and a tie and then another cancellation. It's going to be mentally hard for them to get into this game and really be fired up.
You have to wonder, though, is after this much bad weather, is Philly just ready for this? Philly probably at this stage just has so much experience playing in some poor conditions. When they played their home opener against Toronto earlier this year, they were playing in near 30-mile-per-hour winds and ended up giving the Toronto Rush their best game so far of the season, just a 1-point loss for the Philadelphia Phoenix. So I don't think Philly is going to back down from any kind of challenge by any means. And as much as it is going to be tough to get started, and it's another night where it's like, of course, we've got some bad weather, I think Philly is almost battle-tested for this by this stage. We're getting ready. The teams are taking the field for the first time here, getting ready for the opening poll.
Chris, like you said earlier, New York missing some of their impact offensive players. So in lieu of Harper, Garvey, and Marquez and Jabron, we have Elliott on the line here for the offense. Or are we playing defense first?
Yes. New York Empire, I believe, will be starting.
It looks like an offensive line here.
Oh, it is. It's going to be an offensive line. I think they're just tossing around. The referee official is down the other end holding a disc. So this line is just tossing around now, getting loose. So we've got, right now, the New York Empire lining up to receive to start the game. Elliott Lee out there, as you just mentioned, alongside.
Mataletta will have to be a strong player, as well as Josh. Will be the 3 back here in the Empire.
Izzy Bryant prepping his troops one last time, getting these guys ready, tossing them just a couple more times out there, getting as many touches in as possible. Matt Stevens out there as well for this New York Empire offensive line, along with, as you mentioned, Matt Alouetta, Elliott Lee, Bo Kittredge, famously joining the New York Empire this year, coming back for another home game here in New York. And, of course, Ben Yacht, who, as many have known over the course of his time at Minnesota and eventually now moving into the pro leagues, he likes to go deep. He likes to take those shots downfield, and he's not afraid to really go in with a one-on-one matchup with anybody. Philadelphia, we are getting set here. We've got defensive line out there featuring Matt Esser, of course, one of their defensive stalwarts throughout the course of the season. He has been simply unbelievable at times throughout the course of the Philly year, just carrying this defensive line. He'll be a player to watch throughout this contest.
Yeah, he's leading Philadelphia with 10 D so far this season, with
Also,
85 D points being played.
Surprising we're not going to see him pulling here, as he's one of Philly's better pullers as well. But the disc is up, and we are underway here in New Rochelle. Elliott Lee feeling the disc for New York, and up to Josh Allure right away.
Great cut by Ben Yacht. Wide open. Connor Klein working with his legs.
Already a high stall count here for Yacht as he has to put it up. A chance for a D, and it's just misread by Philadelphia here. Eric Nardelli not able to get up for it. Lee centers it back now to Aletta. Over to Yacht again. Yacht almost going to take a shot deep there. Holsters and swings back to Elliott. Josh Allure now on the break side, ripping it deep for Bo Kittredge. Kittredge downfield. Esser giving chase. Esser not able to get there. Kittredge reeling it in, and that is the opening goal for the New York Empire. Very patient hold for this New York Empire offense.
Yeah, that's a great point, Chris. We've had some swings. We had New York looking downfield. Yacht, as you pointed out before, had an option to look deep. He looked that off and decided to do what every coach would love every other players to do, is dump it and swing. Elliott was calm, cool, and collected, dumping it to Josh, who saw an open Bo Kittredge. And when you see Bo, even with Esser on him, with that much space, you got to put it.
Absolutely. Put it out to space. Let the big Bo Kittredge, his big body, go up there and get it. Absolutely no problems bringing that one in. Eileen Murray, can't ask for a better start to the game if you're the offensive coach here for New York.
And for the viewers at home, the weather here at the field, it's a little damp, but not a lot of wind.
No, a little bit of breeze, very slight, but for the most part, pretty good throwing conditions.
Exactly.
First defensive point here for the Empire. As Trey Katzenbach gets ready to field the pull.
Katzenbach, both a player and coach for the Phoenix.
One of the first times I've ever actually seen that in the AUDL, and really in most sports. There are very few times throughout the course of just sports history where you end up a player and a coach being in the same position. Sean Mott with the disc here. Mott, a player that is a very dynamic and explosive athlete. He will look to get the disc downfield early and often. I have a feeling that we got Ryan Drost on him now for New York. Definitely going to have his hands full, and they're making Ethan Fortin work in the middle of the field right now to retain possession. 2 straight layout saves. A very, very strong start. But New York definitely putting some pressure on these throws. And a quick D here from New York.
An easy D by Ben Katz. New York Empire was forcing middle there, making sure that the Philadelphia Phoenix had to have their cuts, meaning their downfield movement into the stack, allowing for some poaches, and Ben Katz really just executing there.
Hit the poach right on time and gets the D very easily. Upfield now to Drost.
Woo! We had some contact downfield there.
Ben Katz back with the disc now.
Great grab by Ryan Drost. I do not know how he kept his hand on that.
Looking around now, finds Matt Weintraub. Keeping it on the sideline here. Weintraub finally getting it off. Beautiful throw out to space. New York patient in the red zone so far.
That's something they focused on this week at practice. Patient execution in the end zone, having their cutters not clog. As you can see, it's worked.
Clearly worked out very well there. Ryan Drost reeling it in on a nice little backhand across the field as he walks into the end zone. That's his first goal of the afternoon. That is a break for the New York Empire, up 2-0 already. A quick start for the Empire D-line as well.
For those at home, you can see that Matty Weintraub really opened up the field there with that swing to Matt Lamar. Matt Lamar and the Empire working patiently up that field, finding the open player, not having their cutters move. That was a Drost score, it looked
how about that? We got the brotherly connection there. I'm sure it'll be the last time we see that as well, if those two on the same line. Like finding each other when they're open in the end zone.
I want to give a quick shout out to those offensive players who did not move in the end zone. That is a tough role to be in.
It is.
You got to just not move sometimes. Sometimes not moving is the best option.
It's creating space. It seems like an odd concept, but it really does just create space for the rest of your team. Jake Price with the pull here. Dave Baer fielding for Philadelphia. Centering to Scott Zhu downfield. Shashank Aladi on him. Peter Kalamakis on the mark now for New York. Downfield, Ryan Brown. Mike Drost on him. Price pulling and marking Dave Baer. Baer floating it over the top and over the head of Scott Zhu. Unable to connect there. Shank taking a shot deep right off the bat, and it looks like it's going to be... it ended up just falling to the turf. We ended up with the Philadelphia defender there as well. Brandon Pastor in the area to make the play if it was needed. Scott Zhu picking up now, and Shank coming down on the mark. New York still first and middle.
I like this forced middle look. Philadelphia has not changed where their stack is. They still stack in the middle of the field, which is playing right into what New York Empire wants to do.
Shot here from Scott Zhu, looking downfield for Greg Martin. Martin battling it out with Nori too. Ends up getting it and flips it up to Eric Nardelli for the first point of the game for the Philadelphia Phoenix. That is Martin to Nardelli for the goal.
If you're the New York Empire, I think I'm okay with that look. Nori was there. Nori, as we see on this replay, Philadelphia still playing into what New York wants, allowing them to force middle with this kind of Hail Mary throw, Nori being close.
The tough thing here is that Nori ends up getting boxed out, but then you're putting up basically a 50-50 disc there. Greg Martin is a great athlete in the air. He's very tough to beat, but that's definitely not the easiest scenario for the Philadelphia Phoenix. It's one that worked out here and one that I'm sure they'll continue to exploit if they think they have a matchup, but that's a tough throw.
It's a tough completion. Throw. And as an offensive player, again, though not great for the fans, you're always looking for some boring offense. You want swings, similar to what we saw Empire do on their first offensive point. You want swings, you want open throws, not necessarily those 50-50 looks. Absolutely.
And so Philadelphia on defense here for just the second time tonight. Now their first time after a hold. Ben Yacht with the disc, centering immediately to Josh Aloro.
Looking off Connor Klein, he was open downfield.
Finding Kittredge instead. Lexi Zalk in the game for the first time. Upfield. Oh, great grab by Yacht. Looked like it was going to be knocked down, and Yacht managed to get a piece of it. Just hang on. Deep shot here. And they find Yacht in the end zone. Another big man downfield for New York. There's a lot of tall receivers on this New York team, and they definitely have to take their deep shots. Really well calculated one right there from Connor Klein. Hit him right in stride.
You know what? You can't coach height.
No, you really can't.
You can't coach height, but you can coach great timing and great throws. And I think New York has all three of those things in their favor on this play.
Absolutely. They did a really good job here, as you'll see. Klein nice and patient here, waiting, and ends up just taking the shot downfield. Nice looping backhand over the top. Defender really has no chance on it. Yacht goes up and attacks it at its highest point, and that is going to be another hole for the New York Empire offense. 3-1 now. It's just over 8 minutes still to play in this first quarter. A quick start. We haven't seen too many turnovers from either side. Very efficient offense so far. New York getting set to pull here. Couple of different faces in. Jeff Babbitt taking the field for the first time for the Empire.
Nice pull from New York. Let's see if they force middle again.
Yes, Katzenbach fielding. Couple of easy throws right away. Looks like we're getting back to a standard force flick here. Himalaya Meta along the sidelines. Tight window to throw to Babbitt, almost getting his hand on it. Sean Mott resetting into the middle of the field there. Mike Arcata hitting upfield to Ethan Fortin. Fortin and Arcata playing catch in the backfield. There's not a whole lot of movement going on right downfield right now for Philadelphia. It seems very stagnant. There's been a couple of cuts, but for the most part, this vertical stack seems to be pretty stagnant. A lot of contact as we get Mike Dross on the ground, but no call there from the referees.
Mott from Philadelphia, not as effective as we've seen him in these past few games. We saw Ryan and Mike Dross having a nice switch in the backfield there.
The other thing, too, is Mott is missing one of his favorite people to throw to and receive from, which is Ethan Peck. The two of them connected a lot early on in this season, especially against Toronto. Those two have been a deadly offensive duo, and Peck not here tonight, so they will definitely be looking to fill that void other ways. I think we got a pick call here, our first call of the game from our officiating crew. Philadelphia being backed up 10 yards. Resetting here with Sean Mott with the disc.
So unlike Club Ultimate or other type of Ultimate you can play, here in the AUDL, Empires make active calls.
Wow, we had a really nice shot there from Sean Mott, just blading over the head of Himalaya Meta in the end zone. Great defensive effort there from New York, just to make sure that that disc was a little bit tougher to catch. But you're correct there, yeah. So it's a very different thing. We've got active calls here, and there's yardage penalties, not something that we see a whole lot in really at any point in any other form of Ultimate.
Yeah, that was a great D by Ryan Holmes, forcing Philadelphia to jump early and have that pressure.
Tough read as well. We've got
Ryan
a deep shot here. He is a little bit open. He has a couple of steps on his defender, makes the catch easily, finds Holmes now right on the doorstep of the end zone, and he tossed it to Babbitt. Babbitt hesitated for just a second and opened the window for Philadelphia to make a great play. Nice layout D in the end zone to save what would have been a goal for the New York Empire. Ethan Fortin resetting now on the goal line.
It looks like a zipper play done by Philly, meaning their first cutter going break side, second cutter going force side, third cutter streaking deep. Looking to go deep, but Ben Katz there had a tight person defense.
The other issue here, I'm noticing a lot of clogging downfield. Philadelphia's offense seems to be not desperate exactly, but doesn't seem to have much of a rotation right now. There's not really a whole lot of flow to their offense. It seems that they get stuck a lot of times in these spots. And, that's an excellent layout D. We end up with Ryan Dross with a layout D on Himalaya Meta there, getting possession back. I'm shocked that he got to that. I didn't think he was going to get there. Just getting his hand on the disc.
Ryan Dross is toxic on defense. He will make you question that throw.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be, that would seem like a very standard open side throw right there for Philadelphia. Definitely going to make you question whether or not he is truly open in the future. I think actually we've got looks like force middle now. No, Philadelphia settling into a force backhand force here, forcing New York towards the fans right now as they attack the end zone. Drost and Meta, definitely a little bit of contact there. It's a physical matchup. And we've got Matt Weintraub finding an open receiver in the end zone. That is going to be another goal for Philadelphia. We've got Ben Katz receiving that one from Weintraub. So we've got a 4-1 lead now for the Empire. A long possession, much longer point than anything we've seen so far. But New York Empire will be able to punch it in.
An interesting statistic to note so far in this game, New York Empire has had 4 different players have 4 different goals and 4 different players throwing those assists. So it really shows even with one of their 3 main offensive players missing, the depth and the ability to have every single player on this New York roster make an impact.
Well, that's a credit I'll give to Eileen Murray right there. I know from experience of playing for Eileen at points throughout my career, she is someone that always preaches that next man up mentality. It doesn't matter who's there and who's not. Everyone has an opportunity to make a play, and she's not afraid to tell people that they need to step up when other guys are missing or when people aren't quite there. So definitely a really nice opportunity here to see a lot of variety in terms of a lot of different New York players scoring early on in this one. We've got a zone look here from New York as they set up downfield, trying to prevent the Philadelphia pull play. Scott Ju finding Matt Esser upfield now, right through the middle of this defense, as it looks like New York is melting down to a person defense.
It looks like Philadelphia is trying a host stack here, or at least a spread stack. Their vert stack was not doing them any favors before. Like you were saying, Chris, they were clogging. They were not using the width of the field, being able to swing that disc. Let's see if they can do that here.
Scott Ju with the disc in the middle of the field. Looking across, nice inside throw there to a wide open Philadelphia player. That is going to be a goal. Greg Martin with the goal for Philadelphia. That makes it 4-2. Another hole for Philadelphia, getting themselves back into it after a couple of breaks there from the Empire. It seems like that spread stack or the host stack they set up in there definitely a lot more effective so far. They definitely find more space, and I think the Philadelphia offense looked a little more comfortable at that point around.
I don't think it's tough after that vert point. We didn't really get to see much of it. It was really clogged. We had a pick call. We had tight. Every single throw was contended there. So as a Philadelphia coach, you have to try something different, right? As first quarter down 4-1, it's slowly marching the separation there.
And as the Philadelphia coach, he's also on the field seeing that not working. So Trey Katzenbach making an adjustment there and finding some success with it early on. Philadelphia set to pull here. Big looping backhand downfield. Not a whole lot of wind, just enough that it's affecting some of these deep throws, but still a nice way to float that one down there. Get it to about the 20-yard line. It's about as far as you're going to hit it. Bo Kitcher taking a shot now, looking for Ben Yacht. Putting it right on his shoulder. Yacht going up and getting it. Martin unable to get a hand on it. And now Yacht. And to the deep shot to the corner of the end zone. That is an easy goal for Lexi Zoll. Wide open in the end zone. Excellent cut and excellent vision from Yacht to find the receiver. Makes it 5-2 now. Another easy hole for New York.
Yacht's first assist there. Lexi's first point with New York Empire. Again, New York's offense throwing to the open player, seeing that open player downfield. Eileen Murray has kind of tried to teach their players that we have a system, and yet let's be creative within that system. Bo Kittredge, seeing that he was poached at the original first cut, was able to execute using that poach. Saw Yacht going deep. Yacht saw that crosswind or crossfield throw to Lexi.
Put it out to space, and Lexi tracked it down beautifully. So 5-2 now with just about 3.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. Very quick start for this New York Empire offense. They are hitting on all cylinders so far. On pace for a good showing.
New York winning both home games against Philly last year.
Very deep pull here from the Empire. Taking advantage here. A quick double team on Fortin. Fortin splitting it though to Mott and back up to Fortin right away. Fortin taking a shot downfield, looking for Meta. And it looks like Dross is there and knocks it away. Ryan Dross with the D. Quite easy in the end. Meta had a step at first, and Dross turned on the Jets to catch up and knock that one away.
Ryan Dross, second D of this game.
He is an impact player on both sides of the disc for this New York team, without question. New York back on offense now, looking for what would be its third break already of this first quarter.
New York offense really being able to use the width of this field here.
Very effectively so far. They've been in attack both sides. They're comfortable swinging the disc back and forth, and not afraid to take their shots when they need to as well. They've been very successful on those deep shots so far.
As a defender downfield, you're trusting your co-player on the mark to eliminate at least 50% of the field for you. But with New York being able to get these breaks off and these swings.
Matt Weintraub with an excellent save there. It looked like Matt Lamar, just a little bit of confusion and miscommunication as to who was supposed to be going back. Instead, Weintraub digs it out. Now a shot deep downfield, and it bounces off Babbitt's shoulder. Almost gets it on the turn. Babbitt coming back for it and unable to reel it in. Looking for Mike Dross, but sailing over his head and just clipping off of Babbitt up into the air. That is probably the first errant Huck we've seen so far from New York. Seems like it's going to be a little trickier going this way. I've seen a couple of Hucks turn over so far, but overall, it's been pretty smooth sailing so far for these offenses.
No, and I don't question that decision by Ryan Holmes. That was more of an execution error. Mike Dross was open with Babbitt streaking right behind him.
Absolutely.
You put that when you have that there.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got a good look there for sure. And it's one that I'm sure the Empire are kicking themselves for missing. Holmes looking to get it back down on the mark. Upfield, Babbitt guarding Mark Arcata. So a high stall count here, but getting the reset right to the middle of the field. Greg Strauss with the disc. Finding Sean Mott again. Mott, a dangerous thrower and receiver downfield in a bit of a different role. Mott now calling a timeout, not looking what he sees. A lot of passion right now from Mott as well, as he seems to be screaming at some of his teammates, unhappy with the offensive movement. Philadelphia went back to that vert stack there and once again found themselves stagnant on offense.
As a defender, you love nothing more than seeing that thrower be upset. You want not only to have the mark be working, but every other player downfield was having coverage, meaning that that thrower did not have any other options. Here in the AUDL, a timeout is extremely valuable. Not only do you have a second to breathe and kind of talk about what's going on, but you also have a moment to put in a different line. Phoenix here took a timeout when their offense had the disc. That meaning that New York has a huge advantage now because they're not going to put in their offensive players. They're already out there for Phoenix, and you know, this might come and bite them later.
No need to substitute here for sure, and that definitely is a valuable timeout that I'm sure the Phoenix will wish they had back later in this game, because it's one of those things where they're so valuable, and to use it on an offensive possession where you're not looking to make a substitution just because the offense is not moving well enough, that's definitely a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. If you're New York's defense here, you're saying, let's keep it up, let's not change much, and let's get them frustrated.
Absolutely. They're forcing them downfield and making it really tough to find any of these resets here. And a number of high stall counts, definitely, for sure, over the course of these first couple of points, or really possessions, I should say, for Philadelphia on this point. They've had a chance to look downfield, not been there, and New York is doing an excellent job of pressuring these resets.
Here in the AUDL, you only have 7 seconds to get rid of this disc, and unlike in club or college or other ultimate, that stall count is being counted by the refs. So 7 seconds can go very quickly.
Meadow wide open downfield. I don't know if he got an early start or what, but no one near him to begin there. Ethan Fortin putting his body on the line to save possession once again. Around now to Scott Jew. Fortin has been working hard, and not to score goals, but just to keep possession for the Philadelphia Phoenix at this stage. It's been a bit of a rough start in terms of hitting some of these easy around throws, or what should be easy around throws. Dave Baer resetting now up to Jew. Layout D attempt there from Jake Price, unable to get there. And then we get Jeff Babbitt getting a piece of it and ending up right back in the hands of Dave Baer. Babbitt laying out again on the mark, unable to get there a second time.
New York is contesting every single one of these Philadelphia throws, making them lay out and use their body to catch.
Scott Shue upfield looking for Sean Mott, and Mott reeling it in the back corner of the end zone. Those are two teammates who have a lot of familiarity with each other, long history of playing together, and finding themselves on the connection there for a nice easy score. Settling down that Philadelphia offense after what looked like definitely a bit of a stressful point there on the Phoenix side. A lot of that credit has to go to the New York Empire. They're doing a really good job of pressuring people on the resets, making those downfield shots very contested. As you mentioned before, a lot of people needing to lay out to be able to reel these discs in. But for the most part, Philadelphia is almost doing it to themselves. The spacing has not been great so far.
Spacing's not been great. When they're swinging the disc, they haven't been able to get it past the midline of that field, meaning that as a New York defender, you know that they're not using 50%, right? So you're able to stand on your side and really respect the force in the open side.
Not too many break throws yet either. The New York Marks are doing a great job of containing the Philadelphia offense just to one side of the field.
But when you have Babbitt laying out and being able to jump right back up and make a mark, you're not going to think about throwing that break.
And then laying out on said mark.
Yeah, exactly.
Ben Yacht turning Greg Martin around, getting wide open on that undercut there. Initially looked like he was going to go deep, and instead sends it deep. And unfortunately, just fluttering a little bit short, knocked away. Looking in the direction.
Stevens, though, with that great fake being open.
Got himself some space. Yacht unable to hit him. Only got 2 seconds left, and the shot goes up. It'll be a little bit short to begin with. Oh, and a massive collision in the end zone, or just outside. Ben Yott and Greg Martin. That looked like a football play right there. I believe the two of them are exchanging some words here, a little bit heated. But in the end, I think both players recognizing that they're both very highly intense competitors and just walking away from that one.
Yep, there was a handshake there, so they'll be fine. Looks like Yott's taking a little bit of a second breath, as anyone would after being hit like that.
That looked like it had to hurt. Probably a couple of bruised ribs tomorrow morning as well, getting the wind knocked out of him. But the end of one quarter, New York leading 5-3 here over Philadelphia. Strong start for the Empire. They will be coming out on defense to start the second quarter here. So we'll get back to that in just a second here. But really, a really interesting quarter. A lot of turnovers from the Philadelphia offense. New York capitalizing on a few early errors and looked the stronger team so far in this first quarter.
You can definitely tell what the New York Empire focused on at their practice this week. They have had some calm, cool, and collected end zone offense, both by their offensive line and by their defensive line. So their defensive line are forcing those turns, but more importantly, they're able to execute and really punch in that ticket when they get those Ds.
This D-line offense from the New York Empire has been very impressive. They have looked just as comfortable as that normal O-line set. I think that actually speaks a little bit to what you were mentioning before with these short rosters. A lot of these guys are crossing over back and forth between these two teams. You're not getting a true D-line out there. A number of these guys are very talented offensive players in their own right.
Yeah, the players on Empire are fluid not only with offense and defense, but also handlers and cutters. Here in Ultimate, we have mainly just generally two positions, handlers being those who are somewhat of a quarterback on the field, throwing longer throws, cutters being those almost wide receivers here. You'll see both teams having players and moving fluid between both of those positions.
It's necessary here when you've got a stall count just to 7. You need people to be moving around very quickly on the field. You don't have a whole lot of time to find a reset or find a next throw downfield. So lots of fluid movement in the offense here on both sides. Getting ready for the second quarter right now. Philadelphia receding down on our right-hand side now to begin as the teams switch side to be in the quarter.
Chris, if you're Cats and back, what do you tell Phoenix right now?
You just got to spread out that offense. They've been really struggling to get the offensive movement going from that vertical stack. I think, stay patient and keep working the disc underneath. They've taken a couple unnecessary shots early on, early stall count looks. So just to trust each other and to continue to move and trust the offensive system. They don't seem like they're running it very well right now. And if I know Trey Katzenbach, I'm sure he's got a system in place. I think he just needs his team to continue to start running it.
Well, they have a chance here. Let's see what they do.
And the funny thing is, as much as it seems like New York has outplayed Philadelphia to this stage, a hold here puts Philadelphia just down by 1 point. Fortin right in the middle of the field finds Arcata around the 30-yard line. Standing right on the numbers. Smart play here by New York, poaching the lane, making it very difficult for Philadelphia to find downfield players. Little crap there to Greg Strauss. Sean Mott with an inside look to Ethan Fortin. Fortin thought about putting it deep, had two guys going. Instead, just breaks the mark to Shot Zhu. Meta open in the middle of the field. No mark on him at the moment. Fortin on the goal line now. Philadelphia looking to punch this in.
Oh.
And blocked back to Fortin there. Matt Weintraub knocking it down. Fortin saving possession, though. TJ Stanton on the mark. And a knocked up in the air. Excellent defensive effort there from Ryan Drost. In the end, though, brought in by the Philadelphia Phoenix, and that is going to be a goal for Philly, making it 5-4. This is a close game all of a sudden.
It's interesting because it looks close in the score. Philly has been very lucky, I think, with some of their offensive points.
Especially that last one.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right there, New York had 2 Ds. New York had Matty Weintraub on that mark, who was able to swat down that D and had the unlucky fortune of having the mark catch that, and Ryan Drost, again, also getting that D. If you're Philadelphia, you don't want your offense to look like that. That's not how you want to score. Hey, at the end of the day, a score is a score, and you'll take it, but it's not going to work every time.
I think Trey Katzenbach has to be a little bit happier with how the offensive flow looked there. They seem to be spaced out a little bit better, but that is probably not a formula you can rely on when you have your main handler getting it point block back to him and then a disc tipped up in the air and reeled in the end zone by a different player. Probably not the most efficient offensive system of all time. New York back on offense here. Little miscommunication as to where that poach setup should be. Dave Bear helping out his teammates. New York content, though, to just swing it around. They've got wide open handlers right now.
This is Elliot Lee's first game with the New York Empire.
Put into a crucial position here after all the players that New York is missing offensively. Ben Yot taking a shot downfield. And he brought it in. That is going to be a layout grab in the end zone for New York. That is going to be Matt Aletta bringing it in. A beautiful grab and a great diving effort.
That's a second assist from Ben Yot to Matt Aletta to Pippin. Pippin with an amazing grab there down the field. Ben Yot being able to see Pippin having steps on his person and executing and really using that. Pippin with a huge extension, clearly catching it, not having the disc touch any part of the turf.
Absolutely not. Managed to get his hand underneath it, gripping it well, and not too wet out here, but that's a difficult play to make in any circumstances. When the disc is wet, definitely makes it a little more challenging. So huge props there to Matt Aletta. That is a extremely talented play and really tough one for Philadelphia to feel like they got broken down there up the sideline, and you think maybe that's going to float just out of his reach. Aletta reeling it in for another New York Empire goal. 6-4 now for the Empire. And right back on D, the Empire go.
Shorter
Philadelphia,
pull.
yes, much shorter pull this time around. Floaty giving the New York defense a chance to get down there and get set. And Philadelphia going back to the spread look here. Katzenbach wide open in the middle of the field. No one near him initially. Schenk picks him up now. Seems to be some miscommunication here from New York about who they should be picking up. A lot of people wide open in the middle of the field. Strike here, overthrowing Meta and Scott Zhu. Looking to the end zone.
That's a gift for New York right there. Meta was open.
Not great defense from New York here on this point.
Not great defense. Not the defense we've seen at least today.
No, definitely not. It's definitely a bit of a departure from what we've seen so far. And we'll see. Unfortunately, you gotta cash in when you got those opportunities if you're Philadelphia. TJ Stanton laying out along the sidelines to save possession.
Saving New York there with a full extension grab with the towing the line. That is not an easy thing.
Jake Price downfield now, floating a little bit and reeling it in for an easy grab. Ethan Fortin putting the pressure on, but Price bringing it in for now a 7-4 New York Empire lead. That is another break for the Empire defense.
Jake Price's first goal of the game. Again, New York Empire not having a single player scoring twice.
The only one who's doubled up so far on assists is Ben Yot.
Yeah, so New York really showing their strength and their breadth on their offense.
So far, we've seen, like you said, a lot of variety here. I'm wondering, is there any player that you've seen so far that looks to you like standing out they might take over this game in the second half for New York?
Maybe not on the scores and the assists, but I think Elliot Lee should get quite a good shout out here. He, as your first game for your Empire, being asked to be part of that main handler set in the back and be calm, cool, and collected, that's not the easiest role to step up in, and he has done a wonderful job so far, having the swings, having those executions, and being very solid in the backfield.
All of his throws have been on point so far, which is something that a lot of players can't say at this stage. We've had a number of players toss a disc away to an open receiver, as we just saw from the Philadelphia offense on the last point out. Philly's offense back on the field now. Mott with the disc, guarded by Mike Drost. Continuing to swing the disc around. Quiet so far from Sean Mott, who's been one of the most explosive offensive players for Philly to this point. Hasn't managed to do a whole lot, and looks for Dave Bear there and just overthrowing him. Quick note at home, Dave Bear wearing a different number as well. Scott Zhu and Dave Bear wearing 5 and 6 tonight, as opposed to their usual numbers of 11 and 42. Inside throw there. Getting it back, looking downfield, finding a wide open Matt Lamar, who is not in the end zone quite yet. Thought he might be in. Is on the goal line now, looking to punch this in for New York. Finding Jeff Babbitt in the back corner of the end zone. Lamar with the assist. And another break for the New York Empire. And after it seemed like Philadelphia was clawing back into it at 5-4, all of a sudden it's 8-4 now, and New York has a comfortable cushion again.
Yeah, again, Matt Lamar with his first assist and Babbitt with his first score.
Unbelievable, the parity, I guess you could say, on this New York offense to this point.
As a coach, this is what you want to see. Again, you want to be able to rely on every single person who is on your roster. You want all 20 players to be impactful, both behind the disc and in front of the disc.
I think a really important thing to note here, it's a little tough to see on the camera all the time, but the body language difference right now. Everyone on New York is up. They're all high-fiving. Matt Weintraub is currently dancing off the field and really enjoying that last defensive effort from his team. Philadelphia right now, a lot of players have their head down trying to introspectively figure out what's going wrong on the offensive side of the disc. The defenses look pretty strong, but these short field turnovers for Philadelphia over and over again, they can't get their O-line off the field.
No, and a quick shout out to the Ice Cold Drumline here in New York, bringing the spirit and just the energy up, and the fans is always very strong and loud, as any New Yorker would be.
Absolutely. But no, it makes a great atmosphere here. It definitely changes the pace of the game a little bit and gets the crowd into it a little bit more. Sometimes when you get that little bit of musical motivation, it seems to bring the crowd alive.
New York looking to throw a zone here with Ben Yacht in the back.
Not a bad person to put back there.
No, he is not.
It's either, I mean, when you've got your options are Jeff Babbitt and Ben Yacht, usually it's like embarrassment of riches at that stage.
Exactly, and you have Babbitt as that monster off wing, meaning that he is the off force side, kind of sneakily trying to force his way and impact on that D.
Well, what it does actually is it creates jokingly a little bit here, but it creates the open side and the Babbitt side, because you don't want to test the Babbitt side.
No.
Instead, though, it seems that New York is having a bit of a trouble here stopping this Philly handler movement.
They have
Even Fortin and Matt Esser moving it back and forth quickly.
They did crumble into person defense effectively.
Stopping it for the most part, but a lot of easy resets for the most part here. Esser coming across the middle of the field again. Fortin finds him. Streaking receiver is Meta, unable to bring it in, though. And that is going to be a turnover for Philadelphia. I think we might have a foul call, though, in the end zone on New York. We might get a reset disc here at the front of the end zone for Philadelphia. Just the second call we've seen in this game from this officiating crew to this point. I'm not so sure that I saw that, to be honest with you.
I'm not either, Chris. I'm looking at this replay.
I think Meta went like a bit of a layout here. There's not really a whole lot of contact. That's not the best call of all time on Ben Yacht. Bear wide open in the front of the end zone. Esser instead holsters, swings back to Fortin. Inside to Esser now. Philadelphia knocking on the door, wide open in the middle of the field. Finally, Philadelphia punches it in. A little bit of a gift from the referees there, giving them the possession back, but still excellent hold from Philadelphia there, getting it into the end zone and finally getting their O-line off the field.
Yeah, that's, again, as we talked about earlier, with 20 people on your roster, having the Philadelphia O-line, an O-line normally is quite thin anyway as an ultimate team. You want to have 8 or 9 people kind of understanding the flow of each other, but having that O-line out there for so much time, nonetheless points, your legs are going to feel that.
And, basically kind of working the same aspect there as you end up with this New York offense coming out nice and fresh.
Yeah, and the Philadelphia offense having to play defense. A lot of times that's the last thing that offensive players, as an offensive player, that's the last thing I want to do.
I can attest to that as well. If I'm ever on offense, my mindset is not to play defense.
No.
So I have a feeling that that's going to be something that Trey Katzenbat will be addressing with his team as this first half wraps up here. Just under 7 minutes to go in this second quarter now. Elliott Lee letting it fall to the turf so Josh Aloro can pick up. Kittredge coming underneath, wide open to start. A number of these initiation cuts, it seems like Philadelphia is a bit timid in terms of pressuring these unders. They really want to take away the deep shots off of the New York pull play.
I mean, New York has shown that they should be respected in the air. We have Ben Yacht and almost, as we said before, 8? We have 8 different players from New York Empire scoring.
True. You got to respect everybody at this stage. I like this matchup we got right now on the handler position. You've got Scott Zhu matching up with Elliott Lee. A lot of quick movement there, and Zhu, a very intense competitor on the defensive side of the disc. I'll be really interested to see how Lee responds. Deep shot here, looking downfield, and that is going to be Klein wide open in the end zone. Diving Philadelphia player there to make it a little bit contested, but in the end, pretty simple reception there for the New York offense.
That's Bo Kittredge's first assist and Connor Klein's first score.
The parity on this team on the offensive side of the disc is simply unbelievable. Kittredge doing a nice job, though, to go and just blade that into the end zone. Wide open downfield Klein, and Klein making it look easy.
Yeah, Klein coming off of an injury last week. We're all excited to see him playing, looking fresh.
Absolutely. Really top talent. He played at Minnesota for his college career. Happy to see that he's out on the East Coast now, playing alongside one of his college teammates in Ben Yacht.
We have New York players used to playing in the cold and the rain.
That is very true. Minnesota is not warm. You can say that for sure. I guess, though, most Ultimate players, probably their experience is going up there for the U.S. Open or YCCs. In the middle of August, it's not that chilly up there, but if you go during pretty much any other time of year, I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit colder. Resetting here for the Philadelphia offense as they trail 9-5 in this second quarter. Not a great half, especially the quarter for Philadelphia right now. Had a strong start, brought it within 1, and since then they've been trailing by as many as 4. Upfield now, Fortin getting the disc, working it well with this Philadelphia offense. He's one of the lone bright spots so far, making a lot of effort plays just to reel in the disc and save possession.
New York Empire having some great switches in the backfield. We had Ryan Dross switch with Babbitt there, covering Meta. So instead of having one of your players streak past another one of them, you kind of switch. Therefore, having the extra step that Meta gained on Ryan Dross, Babbitt took away by already being there. And that's a lot of communication. That only comes from defensive players working together.
Another call here from this officiating crew. That was a pick called, which pushes Philadelphia back 10 yards. Ben Davies with the disc here along the sideline. Looking to reset here. Finds Arcata. Getting to a high stall count for sure at that stage.
Yeah, Mike Dross really stopping that around look there. Ben Katz, only a few steps behind.
Absolutely. Davies from Australia originally, coming over to the U.S. a couple years ago to begin his Ultimate career. And I've seen a couple of different times now where Ben Katz has come very, very close to reeling in a D.
He had that poach D earlier this game. He's really, looks like he understands the spacing and where Philadelphia is looking to throw it.
Absolutely. And we got Trey Katzenbeck here right on the goal line now. Finds Arcata again. Arcata looking over to Mott. Mott getting the disc for one of the first times on this point. Easy toss to the end zone. Meta stumbling and unable to reel it in. Another layout attempt there from Himalaya Meta in the end zone. He was open again there, and the New York defense not quite there in terms of sealing off that break side from the mark perspective, but Philadelphia is still unable to capitalize. And Meta looks like he's taking a bit of a beating. He's been on the ground a lot in this first half, laying out, trying to get possession. Had a couple of them hit home, but unfortunately missed the majority of his layout attempts so far in this first half.
Matty Weintraub using those legs to get open here on New York.
Already past midfield for this New York offense. A lot of
Who
quick,
is poached?
short
There we
throws.
go. Here we
and
go.
you find Mike Dross downfield. Looking now, we've got New York continuing to just stay patient on offense here. Even when they get that poached player, they look, they find, and they stay efficient with their offensive looks. They don't make their throws any more difficult. We got a call here. Looks like a push on Philadelphia. Going to move New York into an even more dangerous position now to try and strike on this goal line. I think it might go right to the goal line here for Ben Katz. He's going to have it right on the center line, right in the middle of the field. And
I'm sure New York has practiced this week with Coach Murray. Oh, yeah, especially with their focus on end zone offense.
See what they run here. Babbitt isolated at the front of the stack on Katzenbach. Drawing a couple of different matchups there. Tipped there, but it ends up getting into the hands of who else but Ben Katz. Ben Katz reeling in. That is his second goal of the game. Finally getting a New York player with 2 goals. So,
and another player with 2 assists, Matty Weintraub with his second assist of that game. Again, New York looking very calm with Babbitt isolated in the front, meaning that Babbitt was separated from the other New York players, giving him a little bit more yardage to be able to move both laterally and vertically. And you can tell that Coach Murray has really enforced with those players that have Babbitt giving that space in the front. If that's not there, have Babbitt clear and have Ben Katz open on that back.
And we've got now a 10-5 game, 5-point lead now, the largest of the game so far for the New York Empire. And we've only got just about 3 minutes to go in this second quarter. If you're Philadelphia, I don't know what you do at this stage. The offense is not working. They need to definitely mix something up. New York has come out and essentially just punched them in the mouth on defense.
New York is using communication. They're making smart switches downfield. You can tell that they're disciplined. Both on their defense, they're not letting those easier rounds through their marks. They're having great person coverage. Then when their defense gets that turn, they're really punching it in and scoring.
Philadelphia getting up to about midfield here. Greg Martin looking upfield, finding a wide open Ryan Brown. No one near Brown. Ryan Dross coming down now to pick up the coverage. Jake Price on the mark with Scott Ju, a pair of club teammates who know each other well. Pastor downfield. Finds Esser. Esser has been quiet in this first half as well. Definitely a playmaker on this Philadelphia team. Hasn't done a whole lot yet. And that is going to be a D there for Peter Kalamakis. Great timing on the poach. Comes off the top and knocks it away from Scott Zhu. Looked like Zhu was going to have an easy stroll into the front of the end zone, and Kalamakis said, no way. Turned it back.
New York Empire doing a great job on that poachy defense, meaning that you kind of separate yourself from your person who you're supposed to guard and you read the space, trying to anticipate exactly where that throw is going to go. Looks like New York is taking a timeout.
Eileen Murray passionate running out of the field, talking about what she wants to see from her offense right now. Eileen Murray, nothing if not passionate, I can give you that.
New York, this is a smart timeout for them. They're ahead 10-5. It's almost the end of the second quarter. The timeouts do not, roll over to the second half. They can substitute their D-line in for their O-line here and making sure that they can win with at least an 11-5 lead.
Absolutely. We've got different shit. We got subs in here. We got Ben Yacht, Bo Kittredge, Connor Klein, Elliott Lee back in there, Josh Aloro, Matt Aletta.
Matt Cat Stevens.
They've got everybody in here for this offensive point here. Definitely a crucial stage, and I'm sure New York feels like they've got a chance to basically put Philadelphia down to a point where they might not be able to come back. You build a 6 or 7 point lead, there's a lot of game time left, but just from a mental standpoint, it's really tough to claw back from that.
And again, it should be noted that before the start of this game, Pete, there was chatter about how New York's offense would look, missing 3 of their main players. But as a spectator and as someone who's seen them play, you don't really miss them. You don't. Harper being one of their main handlers back, you can see that the New York Empire has stepped up and filled those shoes.
Absolutely. Jabron Miser as well, a crucial offensive cutter, and Marquez Brownlee on the defensive line. Those are big-name players. Those guys play meaningful minutes at a lot of different stages for this New York team, and so far it doesn't seem like New York is missing them a whole lot. Got a different look here from Philadelphia on defense as they are poaching the middle of the lane, trying to bracket and ensure that Yacht does not get underneath. They bail out of that pretty quickly, though. Kittredge and Matt Esser, that is quite the matchup. I like to see that continue throughout the course of this game. Downfield shot there to Aloro.
Great grab by Aloro.
Aloro finding Klein. Klein taking a shot downfield, looking to Yacht, and he gets it right into the hands of Ben Yacht. College connection from Minnesota right there. That is another goal for New York. We're at 11-5 now, but 1:30 to play in the second quarter. And it has been all New York so far in this one. Philadelphia looking for an answer offensively. Unable to find one so far. And you have to start to wonder how much they're missing Ethan Peck.
Yeah. This is Ben Yacht's second goal. This is Connor Klein's second assist. It's hard to imagine that one person can make that much of a difference, though, here in that Philadelphia line.
You're absolutely right. Peck is an explosive player on this offense, though, does a lot for them. He's somebody who handles the disc and, for lack of a better term, breaks the rules of the offense sometimes in a way that's sometimes constructive for this Philadelphia offense. He's done a great job this season of just being that explosive playmaker that it looks like Philadelphia is lacking right now. And he might not make all the difference, but I have a feeling Philly's offense would feel a whole lot more comfortable if he was on the field with them right now. Instead, we've got New York's defense back out there again. A nice roller pull here to the side. Probably going to need a trap look here from this New York defense. We've seen some interesting zones so far from the Empire.
New York showing a lot of different defensive looks here for Philadelphia. They had force middle, they had zone, they had just a normal force flick.
Quick double team on the sideline here. That's a big double team as well. Bo Kittredge and Ben Yacht.
That's a lot of arms.
Yeah, almost knocked away. That's a lot of arm span to go through for sure. Sean Mott with the disc now, just about 30 yards out. Finding Meta again, going give and go with Meta. Mott over to Fortin. Fortin finally hitting the scuba, and Mott getting on the scoreboard for Philadelphia. Sean Mott getting the goal. It's been a quiet first half compared to what we're used to for him, but I have a feeling that they're not going to go away quietly. Sean Mott getting Philadelphia in the end zone. Quick offensive hold there. And a different look from New York right there. We saw a little bit of an odd defensive formation, and they transitioned well into person defense once again, and just a really nice throw from Ethan Fortin for the goal.
One player who I'm surprised hasn't had much of an impact here in Philadelphia is Meta. He's touched the disc a few times, but not in any sense in the way that we've seen him in the past.
Yeah, Meta is one of the leading offensive players on this team. He's got 22 goals and 8 assists coming to this one. So a little bit surprising to see him so quiet so far. They've looked for him a few times in the end zone, unable to connect for the most part. But they're definitely looking to him, and there's something. I think that just kind of sums up Philadelphia's night so far offensively, looking to the open receiver and just not being able to hit him.
New York coming with that side stack offense off the pull. Bo Kittredge isolated in the center.
Kittredge has been doing that his whole career. Nice breakthrow off field there, finding Connor Klein. Aloro now centering back to Klein. Klein, a shooter, likes to take his shot downfield, looking for Aletta. Coming a little bit short. Aletta going up and skying the defender. That is an excellent play there. Going up over Nick DeGiorgio to reel it in. Unbelievably athletic play from Matt Aletta.
Matt Aletta climbed up that ladder. He jumped early, and I thought maybe too early. I did not think he was going to get up that high, but he beat his defender both jumping and in the air.
A little bit lucky there. Connor Klein, I'm sure, happy to have his teammate bailing him out. It was a good look in the end. I think it was a fine decision to throw it deep, just not quite deep enough. Aletta bailing him out there with an excellent grab and celebrating afterward. That is an incredibly athletic play.
Matt Aletta's second goal of the game, Connor Klein's third goal.
Third assist.
Third assist, thank you.
Yes. Excellent start for Klein. He's been one of the key cogs of this offense. Stepping up there in the void that Harper Garvey creates, for sure.
Connor Klein always having a great game against Philly. His stats last year being the leading scorer in their July 15th game and also being an impactful in their April and June game as well.
Connor Klein, no familiar with the big stage for sure, playing at Minnesota, had a lot of experience playing at college nationals, and now coming out here, stepping onto the pro stage. We get a foul here. Mike Drost almost making the play on Sean Mott, instead causing some contact. Mott getting some free yards out of it now. Just 30 seconds here to go in this first half. Philadelphia would love to be able to punch one in here. Trailing by 6 at halftime is not what you're looking for sure. Hammer downfield, finding Fortin. Beautiful throw from Scott Ju. Wide open in the end zone is Fortin. Great connection from those two. Finally open space. You have to wonder, though, is it too much time to leave on the clock?
New York has been calm with their offense. I think 17 seconds is a very long time.
Absolutely. We've seen this offensive group efficiently find the space and then effectively taking these hucks. No matter who's going downfield, they've been able to find the person who's cutting deep and hit them in that open space. We've got Jeff Babbitt now crossing over to this New York O-line here as they look for some more height. Really easy play for Philadelphia there, though. I think New York, not a whole lot you can do about a hammer thrown that well, but
no, Babbitt was only a few steps behind, and a few steps for Babbitt is all he needs.
That's very true. A few steps for Babbitt is like a couple more yards for an extra normal players, but Babbitt covers that with his just leaping ability pretty quickly.
Exactly.
Elliott Lee here to field for New York. Back to Aloro in the middle. Sending Kittredge deep this time. Kittredge's been working underneath for most of this half. Kittredge wide open here now underneath. Gonna have to take a shot, Shun.
Oh.
Zalk is wide open. Zalk gonna have to take a shot downfield. Looking downfield for Babbitt. Babbitt reads it well. Excellent shot from Lexi Zalk. And that is gonna be the buzzer beater goal to restore a 6-point lead for the New York Empire. And, Jeff Babbitt is down and hurt. And the referees are signaling on to medical staff. He does not look happy with whatever just happened. I don't know if it's an ankle or what. We won't speculate much, but he definitely is going to need a little bit of medical attention right now. Puts a bit of a damper on what was a really excellent play for New York.
Yeah, it was a great grab by Babbitt, again, using his body and his height. It looks like he came down and rolled his ankle, which I know has been kind of a sore spot for him recently. Lexi with a wonderful kind of bladey flick there.
Letting Babbitt go up and read it. Excellent throw by her just to put it out to space and make sure there was no chance that any defender had really a shot at that disc.
Yeah, Lexi's first assist of the game, Jeff Babbitt's second score of the game.
So that puts us at 13-7 at halftime. Now we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with the second half of this game from Joseph F. Facina Stadium here in New Rochelle. New York Empire leading 13-7.
Early recognition is critical, teaches middle school PE classes about ultimate frisbee and cancer symptom awareness.
We're a registered nonprofit that advocates for an active, healthy lifestyle, body awareness, and speaking up if something is wrong.
Skills that, when it comes to cancer, can help save a life. Ultimate is a fast-paced team sport that's self-refereed, non-contact, and co-ed.
Spirit of the game is the foundation of Ultimate. That means we communicate respectfully, we're fair-minded, and we enjoy the game.
Ultimate is accessible to everyone. All you need is a frisbee and some friends. Our team of coaches is made up of experienced and passionate leaders from the Ultimate community.
We teach kids that playing fair is more important than winning.
We can come to your middle school and run your PE classes for the day. And if we're not in your area yet, we'll send you our clinic in a box, where we give you the resources to run your own.
Ultimate Frisbee is one of the fastest growing sports in the world.
Teachers and parents love Ultimate Frisbee. We are Eric!
And we want to work with you and your school.
Hey, so what am I supposed to call you?
I'm you, man. Just smaller.
So, Jeffy?
Call me Little Babbitt.
Clever.
Whatever. Call me Ishmael. I don't care. Look, it's a beach. Let's go play that silly game you play. Frisbee, right? Come on, come on. Let's go. Yo, look at me. I'm playing Ultimate, man.
Throw the hammer.
There. Damn.
Don't worry, I got another one.
I'm a handler, not a cutter, Jeff. Wait, I need my gloves.
No! Come on, man, you gotta catch that.
Play more Ultimate. The AUDL.
Welcome back to Joseph F. Facina Field here in misty now New Rochelle, New York, as the New York Empire lead 13-7 coming out of halftime. Starting an offense here once again. But a really strong first half of this New York defense. We saw a number of different looks from Eileen Murray's defense. It's really been impressive. Kept Philadelphia on their toes.
I think it's a great show of New York's coaching abilities and the way that they've thoughtfully changed the defense. They've allowed Philly to kind of be comfortable and then switch it up.
As soon as Philadelphia showed any signs of being comfortable, they've immediately switched it up. New York here on offense, Elliott Lee centering to Matt Aletta and looking to Josh Aloro right off the bat. Yacht taking off deep and Aloro ripping it to him. Going to come up just a little bit short of the end zone, I think. Excellent box out by Yacht, and he makes it in the end zone.
Philadelphia looking for that call there.
We've got a number of things going on here. Referee signaling, and I think that's going to be an offensive foul on Yacht. New York not happy. Klein ripping it back downfield in disgust, I believe. That was a lot of contact for sure watching the replay right now, but I don't know. I don't really know that Ben Yacht extended a whole lot. He kind of kept his body position there, looking for a call, but I don't know. That's definitely a little bit of a tough one.
You're entitled as an offensive player to have the space in which your body occupies.
Absolutely.
When you're watching that replay, yes, there is some contact, but it's Ben Yacht, again, adhering to what his body has already been spaced there. It looks like the Philadelphia defender was trying to shove into him and kind of get him to move. I don't necessarily think that that's an egregious foul there.
Nope, and now it's being sent back downfield as the referees continue to talk this one over. I'm not entirely sure what the game plan is here now. It might be going to Yacht on the goal line.
Yacht was not in for that catch. It looks like maybe the refs are recalling what they said before.
They're still trying to figure this one out. There's a lot of confusion on both sides right now. Ben Yacht is currently all alone on the goal line, just holding a disc. And no one else is anywhere near him. So the referees are still trying to figure this one out. We'll let them continue to do so. They'll continue to conference here. I think they're all trying to get back into place as well. And they're going to be calling it, I think, a turnover here, actually. It's an offensive foul, results in a turnover for New York. So it's going to be Philadelphia's discs on their own goal line. Bit of an interesting turn there for New York. I have a feeling that they're not too happy with that one.
No, and we'll have a unique look into seeing New York's offensive line play defense. We haven't had them have to do this for a while, so...
Has not happened much, and more confusion still. Okay, gotta stay with the same player with the foul was involved with, so gonna be reset here on the goal line. Yacht with an aggressive mark and forcing a turnover right off the bat. So clearly New York not phased all that much.
Connor Klein with some great, or is that Josh? Sorry,
Josh Aloro.
Josh Aloro with some great dump defense there, making Philadelphia really float that disc.
Up top now, looking to the end zone, finding Kittredge for the goal. That is an easy score in the end for New York. Not probably the conventional route they were planning on taking, but they got there all the same in the end. So, nice goal there. Great defense from New York to get it right back after the controversial call and punch it in now to stretch that lead out to 14-7. 7-point lead, doubling up right now for the Philadelphia Phoenix.
Josh with his second assist of the game and Bo with his second score. Again, showing the versatility of New York here.
Incredible in the first half that we saw 9 different players for New York score. You had only a handful of players even scoring multiple goals. No one's even reached 3 yet in a game where New York's already got 14 points.
If you're New York, you're fired up about that play. They had a questionable turn with Yacht there and were able to punch it in and get that score.
Got it right back. No questions asked there. And I think that just goes to show right now, New York mentally is ready for anything that gets thrown at them. They're not going to get bogged down in any of the details. And as soon as they get back into it, they're ready to roll.
Philadelphia looking to have almost a side stack here.
A little more spread out, which is a different look for Philly so far.
Still very clogged downfield, though, not giving themselves a lot of options.
Shoe wide open downfield as we saw Katz poaching off there. No one finding Zhu, though. Downfield, layout D attempt from TJ Stanton, drawing a lot of contact, though. Taking out Mike Arcata's legs. That's going to be a foul call against Stanton. pushing this downfield. Some free yardage here for Phoenix. Resetting here right around the 25-yard line. Excellent attempt there by TJ Stanton. Just a half second too late. Almost generated D there. Really good dump defense again from New York as they force a loopy throw over the top to Scott Zhu.
That's Mighty Weintraub with that dump defense.
Excellent positioning there for sure. Mott now with the disc. Finds inside to Zhu. Wants to rip it. No one going deep. Finds Strauss instead.
Ryan Dross shutting down Meta's deep cut there.
And the backfield defense looking as sharp as ever for New York so far to start this half. Little floaty. Zhu having a go full extension to bring that one in. It's a good matchup there between him and Katz. Another hammer downfield. Looking for Sean Mott. Mott unable to bring it in. Great defensive effort there from Mike Dross knocking it away. And right away, Matt Lamar picking it up and finding Matt Weintraub.
Mike Dross' first D of the game with that end zone layout D.
Excellent play there from Drost. Look, I thought Mott was going to bring that in initially. It was a really nice throw from Zhu. TJ Stanton continuing to work downfield. He's been putting in a lot of effort at this point so far.
Again, New York's defense, who is playing offense right now, being very calm, showing offensive fundamentals.
Wide open.
Swinging that disc. Having the stack not be too active. Giving space for their fellow players. Ben Katz wide open for the score here.
Almost overthrown, and Katz reels it in the back of the end zone. Nice throw there from Ryan Dross. That is another goal, another break as well. The New York D-line. They just look unstoppable right now.
That was Ryan Dross' first assist of the game. Ben Katz's third goal.
Oh, we finally got 1-3 now for New York. Nice change of pace on the offensive side of the disc. So they'll rotate out now, put in a couple of fresh bodies on this defensive line, and just continue to roll. They've got really no resistance right now. This Philadelphia O-line, as soon as New York seems to get them on the field, they can't find a way to get off.
Yeah, Chris, and as you were saying before, there's some unsung heroes on New York's defense. We all like to focus on those players like Mike Drost, who by no means should be underscored on his defensive abilities. But there are some players out there on New York who are tight on their person and are making Philadelphia look them off. TJ Stanton being one of them. Also Ryan Holmes being very close to his person. Those are the kind of players that make you have turnovers.
Absolutely. When you put yourself in a position right there, not a whole lot of open looks, makes it a lot tougher for the offense to move the disc. And as soon as they start to slow down is when it seems like New York is generating a lot of these turnovers. Keep Kalamakis on the mark here. Finding now Dave Bayer on offense with the disc. Good matchup there with Jake Price.
It also looks like New York has scared Phoenix into not looking deep. We've seen Phoenix look off a bunch of throws.
Absolutely. So far, they've been content just to swing here. They're doing a good job of chipping it up the field so far offensively. Nice inside look there. Finding Greg Martin on the break side. And Nardelli taking off deep. Really no one with him right now. He's kind of unguarded. Katz now picking him up.
Again, Philadelphia, though.
And Bayer taking a shot, and wow, Nardelli wide open in the back of the end zone. So Dave Bayer never been someone afraid of taking some deep shots, finding him with a nice hammer to the end zone. And that is a quick score for the Philadelphia Phoenix. Nice offense up to about midfield and then punching it in all in one throw.
Again, for the viewers at home, it's a little misty here. It does look quite ominous and dramatic, but the wind, the flags are not moving.
No, not at all.
It's a beautiful night to play Ultimate. When you throw, your disc is going to go exactly where you want it to place. So hammers are a great look.
Absolutely. It makes it really tough to defend downfield, especially when you get closer to the end zone. When they're in that area about 30, 40 yards out where those deep throws that are to the break side are very viable, makes it really tough on a defender.
That was a great offensive point by Philadelphia. They were calm, cool, and collected. They swung the disc. They hit their open person. Let's see if they can have more of that here.
Bayer again, waiting, kind of hesitated initially to put it deep, and then just let loose the hammer. And Nardelli so open at the back of the end zone. Katz trying to play into the space there, possibly get a poach D. Instead leaves his man a little bit too open here. And Aloro striking up line here to start the point and taking a shot right away. Ben Yot wide open in the end zone. I'm not going to pretend to know everything about coaching, but I think you probably want to cover Ben Yot. when he's streaking deep, you probably want to have someone near him.
Yeah, it looks like there was some miscommunication there from the Philadelphia defense with Josh Aloro really having that quick up the line catch, looking for Yacht and not hesitating at all.
Just ripping it deep right away. That looks like there was a little bit of miscommunication for sure. And I can't tell if Philadelphia was trying to run a different kind of defensive look. They seemed like the pole was intentionally put toward the sideline, looking to set something up differently. And New York exploiting the hesitation there and setting up that defense right away.
Exactly, and that's Ben Yacht's third score of the game and Josh Aloro's third assist. That connection has been strong today.
Absolutely. Aloro is a great offensive handler, very good defender as well, especially on handlers, but he is somebody who's not afraid to take the shot, and when he gets in a power position is extremely dangerous with the disc in his hands.
Philadelphia being very cloggy, having all of their offense kind of on one side. They're not in a nice side stack kind of way, but in a messy.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying to open up that space now. They're taking a shot downfield to Sean Mott, and Mott going up and getting that one. He just outruns everyone. Beautiful throw downfield from Philadelphia. Mott is one of the, like I've talked about it before early in this game, one of the most explosive players on the field for either team, and even when you think he's had 3 different New York defenders in pursuit there. So overall, not too surprised to see Mott drawing a lot of attention, still able to reel that one in.
Yeah, exactly. And as a Philadelphia offense, you have to trust Mott there, right? We have Ryan Drost only a few steps behind him. You do not put that up unless you trust that your offensive player will bring that disc down for you.
Sean Mott is somebody Philadelphia certainly trusts, and I have a feeling they might start going to in that deep space a little bit more in the second half. They've been really struggling to get a whole lot of explosive offense going, and that is when Philadelphia is at their best, is when they get a chance to take some of those deep shots. And that was a beautiful throw, hitting Mott right in stride, just out of the outstretched reach of Ryan Drost.
A nice pull here from Philadelphia.
Getting it down right to the goal line. Elliott Lee doing a great job tonight fielding those pulls. It's a little bit wet, not too bad, but just enough that sometimes those discs start to slip through your hands. You've got Kittredge here up to Yacht. Yacht centering. An interesting layout from Lee. I don't know if that was
I'm sure did not feel great.
No, not entirely sure that was totally necessary. Now you've got Yacht to Aloro.
And
he makes another
again.
great. Yeah, we're going reverse this time around. Yacht throwing to Aloro this time. And that is another goal for the New York Empire. I think they're going to get the disc checked out here when Lee made that grab. It definitely landed on a little bit awkwardly.
And so did Josh for that score. He also had a pancake layout there.
Yes, definitely a little bit weird, and I think they might look to replace this one now. Looks like it's a little bit warped. Overall, really efficient point there from that New York offense. Good movement, getting the disc onto the sideline into a power position and finding a streaking Josh Aloro to the end zone.
That was Josh's first goal of the night and Ben Yacht's third assist.
Yacht being very heavily involved in the offense to this point. He's been one of the focal points all season for this New York team, but certainly tonight in the void of some of the big-name offensive players they're missing, namely Javon Miser and Harper Garvey.
Again, that should be attributed to New York's flexibility, both on who they want as a handler and a cutter and offense and defense. Yacht, who's normally the one going deep, puts it to Josh.
And a small difference here I'm noticing, and it's not big, but it's enough that it might give him a little bit of an edge. I'm noticing Philadelphia is letting a lot of their pulls drop to the ground here, whereas Elliott Lee's done a great job of catching a lot of these pulls. It's a very little thing in the game, but it gets your offense going a little bit quicker, and each second that these teams get to get down there on defense is a second that it's going to make it really tough for the offense to move.
Now, that's a great point, Chris, especially with,
Mott turning that one over there, just going right through his hands.
Uncharacteristic.
Shank picking up, looking to move quick. Finds Mike Drost about maybe 10 yards out of the end zone here. Looking around, and he ends up calling a timeout.
A veteran call there. Not what you want to see as a New York defense, right? But at the highest stall count, you want to kind of, let's just recollect, bring our offensive players in and see what they can do. Didn't
have a great look there. Only 10 yards out with a chance to break. Definitely a veteran call there. Definitely not a move that I think Eileen Murray's going to be disappointed with. You want to be able to punch this in. So, but another just miscue from this Philadelphia offense. Small.
Yeah, but it's going to cost you because New York now has that opportunity again to use that timeout, put their offensive line in, and show what they've been practicing this whole week, a calm and hopefully collected end zone offense.
It's obviously you will put your offensive line in here because you want to get your best offensive players on the field. But with how this New York defense on offense has looked tonight, you almost don't even need to make the switch. They've been so effective throughout this game, just continuing to patiently work the disc downfield, find the open receiver pretty much whenever they want. And if they don't have something downfield, they're very content to swing and move around and attack that breaks out of the field.
I could not agree more. Maybe it's just a nice time to give your defense some rest. They need it. The New York defense has been playing a lot this game.
That's a good point. They've been out there for a lot of break opportunities and a number of points in a row because they've gotten on some of these runs throughout this really second quarter and then third quarter as well, as we're getting about halfway through this one. So we'll see. We got definitely a different look right now. Josh Alora back on the field for New York. We got Matt Aletta picking up the disc here for the Empire. And I think there's some confusion as to whether or not the disc is in, and no one's really moving for New York right now. Nope, the disc was not tapped in yet. They fooled me, is really what it came down to. Aloro now on the goal line, just a step out. Not finding much, taking a shot in the back of the end zone, knocked away by Philadelphia. That was a tight window to throw to. Aloro getting to a high stall count, just trying to take a shot to reset it in the back of the end zone.
Some great defense there by Philadelphia. It looks like they have some fire under them right now.
Something they need for sure. They've been lacking that a little bit. I have a feeling that Sean Mott is going to look to try and make up for the drop that he had earlier in this point. He's going to look to now capitalize on this possession they earned back. Esser playing back in the backfield for one of the first times today for Philadelphia. He's been an integral part of their red zone offense, moving a lot back into that handler space. We haven't seen him really when they're normal set downfield a whole lot when he's been in this handler spot.
You also haven't seen his impact on defense, really, right?
Hasn't had much of a chance to.
No.
Excellent rip here, but knocked away. Matt Aletta getting a hand of that one.
Again, showing his ability to move vertically higher than what people perceive him to be.
Colin Messino looking to get open on that one there. Had a step or two, but the throw just a little bit short. Kittredge now on the reset. Over to Aloro. Aloro racing to get to that one. Cannot bring it in, though. And that is a turnover on the goal line for New York. One of the few times we've seen that happen today. Short field opportunity here for Philadelphia, and they squeeze it into the window. Matt Esser, once again, showing up in the red zone, and that is a goal for Philadelphia. A little bit of a wacky one, but it counts all the same. So 17-10 now. The Philadelphia Phoenix get back on the board in the third quarter here. Stop the bleeding a little bit in terms of some of these breaks that New York's reeled off over and over again in a row.
It was interesting. Philadelphia, I'm not sure what they talked about during that timeout, but it definitely fired up their defense. They showed more person-to-person pressure than they have throughout this entire game there in that end zone, and it was able to give them a turn. And then they used their calm offense and scored.
Esser with a great grab as well. That was not an easy throw. You got Nick DiGiorgio fitting that into a window, and Esser doing a great job to go to the ground and get it. So it's not exactly close here right now. It's still 17-10 game. We've ended up with maybe not the best showing of all time for this Philadelphia offense, but still we've been impressed by the New York offense more and more the defense of the offense the defense has played. Yeah. I'm tying myself up here with what I'm trying to say. We got a spread look this time from New York. They're looking to isolate Connor Klein in the middle of the field. Unsuccessful though. Well, I guess they come back to Klein at the end on the under. Oh, and a miscommunication there. Yacht looking to go deep. Klein thinking he was coming under. And a turnover. One of the few unforced turnovers of the day for New York. And Bo Kittredge gets it back for the New York O-line. Ripping it downfield to Aloro. Aloro giving chase. Losing his visor. And bringing it into the back of the end zone. An easy run on goal. And take a guess who threw that to him.
Bo Kittredge.
No, we actually have Ben Yacht. The connection
Yacht.
Between Ben Yacht and Josh Aloro once again. Kittredge getting the layout D, but Yacht in the end setting up Aloro for yet another goal.
Yacht's fourth assist in the game. Josh Aloro's second goal. And with Bo, with that great D.
I can't say he's not known for his defense because Bo Kittredge is known as being a great player all the way around, but he's more known for his offensive game. Really nice to see him break out at the young age of 34, breaking out that layout D.
Another thing that should be mentioned is that even though New York is up 18-10, they're not playing that way. They are playing, it's like it's 0-0 game to 1. Their defense is fiery. Their offense wanting to score and not trying to show off and be, using their calm, collective nature here.
And it was a nice job there of really taking advantage of that fast break opportunity as well. Let's see what Philadelphia can respond with here as they look to, already got it to about midfield here. They've been doing a much better job in the second half of being patient, and the spacing has been a lot better. They haven't always been able to execute and score a goal, but overall, just the spacing of this team has looked better. Got a nice hammer shot here to Greg Strauss. TJ Stanton unable to knock it away. Or excuse me, that's Ryan Holmes unable to knock it away. Mott now on the goal line. Finds Zhu for the reset. And a Scuba over the top. Excellent job to get his feet in the end zone. Going to be a turnover, though. Unable to reel it in. Unable to bring it in. That's a tough break for Philadelphia. That's Mike Arcata, who just came up short of scoring a goal there. It would have been a really good offensive opportunity for Philadelphia there for sure. And I think we got a delay of game as well for Arcata knocking the disc away afterward. New York getting some free yards.
Lamar really using his body there to push out Ethan Fortin.
Great job by Lamar as well to go up and get that disc. I don't even think he knew Scott Zhu was coming. But still going up and attacking at its highest point.
Oh, you're right. It's Scotty Zhu.
Scotty Zhu knocking that disc away. He getting that one for sure. Looking downfield to Mott. Unable to find him. Double team here with Ben Katz. Finds Katzenbach, though, right outside the end zone. We'll see what Katzenbach does here. Known for being a very patient offensive worker. And as he does often, Katzenbach finds the open look. Mott right in the front of the end zone. Quick little break throw from Katzenbach for the goal. 18-11 now. Philadelphia still trailing by 7, but they're not going away. Not going away quite yet.
No, there's a lot more game to play.
One of the first times, too, that we've really seen Philadelphia do a good job of pressuring the reset from New York and making a really difficult throw. That was not an easy look there, either of them, for Matt Lamar. The second one, obviously, Scott Zhu had a piece of.
Scotty Zhu really wanting to get that D there. I'm in no surprise that he was able to have some pressure with Lamar.
He's a very intense player. He always puts his body on the line, always willing to go out there and make the play for his team. I think he's probably going to be a little bit frustrated with the scoreline right now. And that definitely probably taking a little bit of the frustration out with that layout D. Really nice play as well. He got up there to go get that.
Let's see if Philadelphia can use this momentum and turn this game.
Been unable to really capitalize a whole lot. I don't know, actually, if Philadelphia has a break yet in this game. I think so far it's just been the New York offense running whatever they've wanted for the most part. Kittredge there breaking Esser to find Yacht. Yacht just unable to get it inside to Aletta. A great layout play there from Dave Bear. Bear laying out, putting his body on the line and knocking the disc away. Doing just enough to make the turnover. Bear finds Nardelli now right in the middle of the field. This could be the first break we see for Philadelphia. They're moving the disc well so far. Nice and patient. No one for Bear right now. Bear putting out to space. Not the best idea with Ben Yacht in the area. Yacht runs onto it and knocks it away, getting it back for the New York offense.
Yacht is not only a tall player, but he has some fast closing speed. If you see there the last few steps, Yacht really does catch up to his offensive player.
The long reach knocking it away. New York back on offense. Struggling now to get the reset off once again, but an excellent throw there off the sideline, finding Aletta, getting it all the way over to that open side. I believe Philadelphia now is actually shifting into something of a forced middle, trying to challenge this New York offense.
Great grab by Lexi to keep it in play.
Right along the sideline. Great job to keep her feet in bounds there. Save possession for New York. Aloro now working in that handler space. Looking for Kittredge downfield, and Kittredge turning his man around and getting open in the back of the end zone for another New York score. Just under a minute to go in this third quarter. New York pushes it back to 8 now as Bo Kittredge scores another goal.
Josh Alora's 4th assist and Bo Kittredge's 3rd score here in the game. And what's interesting is that you're not really thinking about Harper Garvey right now. You're not thinking about Marquez Brownlee. You're not thinking about Gibran. New York is showing that they have a deep offensive line. Josh can be trusted behind the disc. Elliott can be trusted behind the disc. We have clearly 9 different offensive players and defensive players who can score. It's quite an interesting night here.
There's been a lot of different people scoring as well. And you mentioned Josh Aloro there. Josh has been asked to be put in this position a number of different times. He was a player on that Rutgers team on the men's division that ended up qualifying for college nationals back in 2014. And definitely a shot taker for that team, and I think that's carrying over here. We're seeing a lot of that on display tonight. Philadelphia back on offense here. Unable to get their first break of the game. It seemed like they had a shot at it until Ben Yat denied him on the last point. Yat on the mark here. A shot going up. Just overthrown, though, for Sean Mott. Not enough float for Mott to go get that one. Now, Mott is fast, but you got to give him a little bit of room to work with there. Not quite enough for him. Lamar matching up with Katzenbach here. These New York in-cuts have been open all night long.
Yat playing some defensive points here.
Nice change of pace for sure. I mean, when you've got Ben Yat, who is an excellent defensive player, I know he's a great offensive asset, but he has a great defensive arsenal as well. And an easy goal, Ben Katz finding Lamar wide open in the end zone. That is just too easy for New York there. And definitely a sign of, I think, Philadelphia starting to crumble. Just 1.4 seconds left. And to give up that kind of goal, not what you're looking for to end the half, or end the quarter, excuse me.
That's Matt Lamar's first goal of the game. Ben Katz's second assist. That was a wonderful find also by Mike Dross on that sideline. Ben Katz being wide open and poached, getting the disc there, and then Ben Katz being calm and collected, finding Lamar open.
Making the right throw to get it there as well. The nice little bladed flick over the top.
With 1.4 seconds left of the quarter, it's going to be an exciting, quick play here by Philadelphia.
I wonder what the game plan is. You don't really have a whole lot of time. We have seen some full field hucks in the AUDL this season. A couple of them making the AUDL top 10, of course. But this is a tall order to fill. I don't really know who you even want taking the shot.
I think, well, you said it. You tall people.
Probably.
You send your tall line out there. Seeing every single person.
Dave Bear ripping it all the way downfield. Unfortunately, not going to make it to the end zone for Philadelphia. Ryan Brown going up. Can't even bring it in. Wouldn't have really made a whole much of a difference there. Excuse me, not Ryan Brown. That's
Ryan Holmes.
Ryan Holmes, yes. Ryan Holmes for New York. Going up, knocking it away. Great defensive effort there. Smart play from New York as well, just to wait back there knowing the huck is coming up. So at the end of three quarters, we've got 20-11 now. New York still leading and very comfortably at this stage. I don't really think we're in, unless we see some sort of astonishing comeback. So we're going to take a small break right now. At the end of this quarter, we'll be coming right back to you with this fourth quarter action. Welcome back here to Joseph F. Facina Stadium. We are getting ready for the fourth quarter of action right now. Not exactly a close game, but still an exciting one here between the Empire and the Phoenix. We've had a number of players on the Empire, scoring 9 to be exact. Not really anybody dominating offensively. We've seen other players putting in good performances, but overall, really balanced effort from this New York team.
And a shout out to New York Empire's defense, not only for their defensive play, but also for their offense.
We can't say it enough.
No, we're loving it here.
Got some fun games going on right now on the field as we get ready for this fourth quarter to get underway.
It's trivia night here at New York Empire, so we are testing out some fun trivia, seeing who knows the Empire players the best.
Got our winner as well. Good showing tonight, too, for this New York crowd. Not the best weather for Ultimate if you're a spectator. Not bad if you're playing, but
yeah,
a little bit chilly, just enough setting in right now for these spectators to start to feel the temperature dropping a bit. It's getting darker here at Joseph F. Facina Stadium. The lights are on, though, and we're ready for this fourth quarter of action.
Again,
New York pulling to start the quarter.
The food and beverage stand here at the New York Empire Field, all the proceeds go back to the New Rochelle community. the hot dogs, the hot chocolate, the hamburgers, everything is good. So come support your community here.
Absolutely. We've got another exciting quarter of action coming up right now. As we've got Philadelphia starting on offense here, working it up to about the 45. No problem. Mott taking a shot deep, looking for Himalaya. Meta boxing out with Ryan Drost. Unable to bring it in, though. And we've got a foul call, I believe.
It looks like both of them are wanting to have the refs on their side there.
I think this is going to end up going to New York. They're going to end up turning it over here. Great defensive effort there from Ryan Drost. He did a nice job boxing out Meta. Meta have been very quiet in this game after coming in as one of the more dominant players on offense for Philly. Scott Zhu just missing a layout D there, coming across on a poach.
Nori, New York Empire's youngest athlete with the disc now.
Nori has been an exciting player to watch. Very athletic, but only playing Ultimate for just a couple of years and still figuring it out. But he is out there running around right now, making Sean Mott work on defense.
He is 19, playing on a high level. Oh, great grab.
And he's not really playing with much of an established college program either. He's a student at Montclair State, so they don't really have much of an Ultimate team at the moment. Still, he looks like he's out here competing with the best of them. Shank getting layout D'd right there by
looking
Scott
for the strip
Zhu.
call from the
Not
from the
getting it
refs.
from the official. Right in front of him, so I imagine the official had a pretty good view. Ryan Brown elevating to get that one. Finding Mott right away. Mott around the same spot he took the shot from last time. This time going short.
This is the best offense we've seen from Philly so far.
Meta getting it upfield now. A little tough to see with some of this fog, but I believe we got it upfield to Messino. Travel call maybe, or some sort of pick. It's going to end up coming back a couple yards here for Philadelphia. Philly's still in a good position to score. Just a little over 10 yards out of the end zone here. As much as we keep talking about Philly's inability to break the New York break the New York offense, they're not going to be able to climb back into this game if they don't hold on offense themselves. So this is an important point for Philadelphia right now. Getting up to the goal line here. Nice swing around, finding Zhu again.
They're not able to swing that disc, though. They're moving it between the same third of the field. It ends up working this time, but...
Mott finds Arcata in the back of the end zone. Nice little lefty backhand there. Well, I guess Mott is a lefty, so nothing out of the ordinary for him, but finding a nice little throw over the top, putting some touch on it for Arcata to go up and get it. That is a Philadelphia score, 20-12 now. New York leads with about 9.5 minutes, exactly 9.5 minutes to play, actually, in this fourth quarter. New York still in control. Sending this O-line back out there. Have not been broken yet tonight. Seeing a lot of familiar faces out there. Elliott Lee coming back out for another handling shift. Alongside Connor Klein, Bo Kittredge, Ben Yacht, Matt Oletta, Josh Aloro.
Matt Cat Stevens.
You got Matt Stevens out there as well, rounding out this offensive line. Philadelphia still looking for their first break. We'll have to see what intensity they come with in this fourth quarter. Trailing by so much already. See if they start to fall a little bit or continue to pick up this pressure.
New York coming
once again
with a split stack here. We've seen them with a side stack most of the game.
Finding Stevens in the middle of the field. Not a whole lot of movement downfield right now for New York. A little static.
Yeah, not a lot of options there for Matt Cat Stevens.
Now, Klein has been cutting, but I think he's waiting to cut off of Yacht and a little uncertain about when to make his move. Finally finding some space now. And also we're seeing, that's a really tough throw. Great bid there by Connor Klein. Who's staying down, unfortunately. We just got him back from injury this week, so hopefully nothing too serious. What Philadelphia is doing, though, defensively is they're now started forcing a bit more towards the middle and making it a little bit tougher to get this movement going. New York has done a great job of hitting these inside shots and then taking deep looks off of that.
That could be why New York is now looking for a split stack. Again, with your forced middle, you're not forcing one direction. You're changing depending on where the disc is. With having your offensive players in a split stack, with a force being changed, you still have an option from that open side. So it's a very smart move from the coaches and the Empire staff to kind of shift their offense in that way.
Making it much easier for this offense to flow, because the idea of the forced middle is you want to cut off that offensive movement going side to side.
Exactly.
Really trap them in the middle of the field. It works very well against a vertical sack set. Great job by New York to adjust. Not the best execution, unfortunately, as they're going to have to play some defense now.
Connor Klein not looking like he's grabbing his hamstring, which was his injury last week. So that at least is some silver lining there for New York.
Definitely a positive sign for sure. Seems like he's got up under his own power. Should be doing all right.
Mike Dross coming in for Connor Klein. Not a bad sub for defense.
Absolutely not. Philadelphia coming in now. This is probably one of the better opportunities they've had today to break. Immediately being forced backwards, though.
Elliott Lee with some great D, stopping that swing.
Aletta playing really tight defense here. I think a shot deep downfield
with Bo
Kittredge
Kittredge
in the area. Kittredge
somehow grabbing
and windmilling that around. Maybe not the wisest shot of all time.
No.
Bo Kittredge definitely known for being a dominant downfield cutter. And he can do it on defense as well. You hear the Philadelphia sideline communicating right now. They are really working on trying to keep New York in the middle of the field. Doing a good job so far, New York is, in terms of swinging it back and forth, attacking those break sidelines, but there's not a whole lot of movement downfield right now. Looking like maybe some tired legs starting to set in a little bit.
We're seeing some weave action from New York. Handlers, Elliott Lee to Josh.
Whew. A lot of contact there. Mott is going to get called for the foul.
Bo touching his side a little bit. Looks like he felt that one.
Probably a bit. Yeah, Mott put his shoulder on it. Nothing intentional, of course.
No, but it's still a shoulder in your hip.
Yeah, you feel that one for sure. Kittredge working it well here with Aloro. Aloro in a power position, and for one of the few times today, doesn't take a shot deep. Instead, recenters to Kittredge. Again, now we're starting to see Philadelphia stepping up the defensive pressure for really just about the first time today, slowing down this New York offense. New York's content to stay patient, but not the same effective look that we saw from them earlier, for sure.
One of the issues here with a wide field and a big field is that the disc can move faster than the player sometimes. You can see Mike Dross with a great continuation cup off of Ya, but not having a lot of options past that.
Mm-hmm. We've seen that a lot so far on this point. And as much as New York is chipping it away up the field, they're attacking to some of this space. They're still having to go back and forth every time. Now getting a shot to the end zone. 2 New York Empire players there. I believe that is Matt Aletto reeling it in for the goal for New York. That makes it 21-12 now. Aletto with another goal.
That's Aletto's third score of the game. Mike Dross second with a great break flick there from Mike Dross, being able to find.
Nice inside flick.
Yeah.
Very patient, calm. He saw the window, did not try and force it. Instead, just putting it right out to space, letting his players go make it. He really had 2 guys there, so even if Aletta did not make it there, you're going to end up with Matt Stevens coming right behind him. Just about 7 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. New York comfortably ahead right now, leading by 9 points. That's the most they've been to so far. We'll have to see if they stretch it to double digits as the fourth quarter continues on. Defense back out there. Been the strong point for this New York team all day long. I guess it's hard to say because the offense has been great too, but the D-line coming with a number of breaks in this game.
A lot of fire as well. They have spirit. They're not letting a large lead stop them on defense.
There's absolutely no contentment right now. No one is content with the score. They want to keep putting up as many scores as possible. Ethan Fortin back at the disc middle of the field for Philadelphia. High stall count there and throws it behind the intended receiver, just trying to get rid of it.
Shank with that D.
Did we give Shank the D?
I mean, he was at least aware.
He got it.
Yeah, he touched it, I guess.
He did. A little bit of an easy one, but Shank still gets the D there for sure.
Great cut by Ben Katz.
Milking the opportunity there, getting a couple more yards out of it. Centering it back to Weintraub now. Weintraub very steady for this D-line today. Been a really good job of just moving the disc back and forth and being a very consistent reset handler for this New York Empire team.
Let's see if New York can be that calm offense. Ben Katz with a interesting breakthrow.
I believe he was looking for an inside round throw there.
Or a foul call.
That might be why we saw the interesting throw. Scott Zhu not happy with the call whatsoever. It was the one marking Katz there. Katz will get it back, though. And I think they're just trying to figure out where to mark it off to now. Getting some free yards, giving New York the disc back.
Katz trying to have that around break backhand.
Not quite able to complete it there, unfortunately. But in the end, he'll settle it back in. And a nice play-out grab by Matt Lamar. Just sliding through the end zone right along the turf. Bailing out one of his teammates. Shu unhappy with the call and getting a little bit heated now with some of the Empire players, but breaks up in the end, and New York will go back to celebrating now what is a 10-point lead, and they are just rolling at this point. This D-line continues to put the pressure on Philadelphia, not letting up for a single second.
No, that was Ben Katz's third assist of the game, Matt Lamar's second score. What a wonderful grab by Matt Lamar, really sliding with that wet field. As an Empire team, you want those kind of plays to fire you up.
That's his specialty, right? He had one of those in the first half as well. Lamar with a great layout grab down the other end to save possession on a yacht huck in the first half. So really strong performance from him. Not afraid to get down on the ground and go get it. Jake Price here pulling for New York. Philadelphia receiving once again. And another time here where it's a small thing, but the disc hitting the ground for Philadelphia. Ryan Brown wide open here, getting about 15 yards out of it. Unable to reel it in, though.
This is the second drop by Philly tonight.
The second half as well. It's just been kind of the story of the night for Philadelphia. A lot of opportunities to succeed, and New York has definitely outplayed them, but Philadelphia has not done themselves any favors either. Good reset there to Peter Kalamakis. Mike Dross wanting the disc back, unable to get it though, and instead a break throw around to Jake Price. New York getting pushed back, but saving possession here.
Great cut by Nori.
Continuing to just chip away. Dave Baer coming in for the double team now, forcing New York back further. This New York stack's getting a little bit deep, making it a little bit tough for them to attack right now. They got to reel it in a little bit. That's what happens when your handlers keep getting forced backwards. TJ Stanton getting it there. Bailing them out now. Kalamakis looking upfield, finding Ryan Drost. Excellent bid there from Philadelphia. Kalamakis able to bring it in, though. Little hammer over the top, finding Nori in the end zone. That is a goal for the youngest player in the New York Empire. New York sideline fire up right now, coming on to greet there.
It is Nori's first goal in AUDL.
There you go. Nori scoring his first goal in the AUDL. So really nice to see that the Empire open it up here and getting a lot of people in to score. Nori getting his first ever in the AUDL. Great to see young players like that. These guys are getting a really good opportunity. Beautiful throw by Peter Kalamakis over the top. Nice little hammer, definitely put into the open space.
Shout out to Jake Price also on that play. He cut up line and was able to draw Nori's defender away from Nori to kind of stop that upline look, which was the first threat. And then Kalamakis, seeing that Nori's defender was drawn away, was able to execute and then score.
Hit it well for sure. Jake Price, one of the more aggressive players on this team, not afraid to go out there and cut as hard as he possibly can at every single point he's on the field. Philadelphia back on the field. Really struggling offensively. This, I think, is the lowest offensive performance they've had to this point in the season. Only 12 goals so far, just 4 minutes to play. Not been a good showing for them by any means.
I think, again, energy. New York storming the field there when Nori scored, being high and voicing and having a loud sideline and a loud presence in the audience. Philadelphia a little quiet.
It's a little tough. Well, first of all, Philadelphia being on the road, they don't have any of that crowd backing by any means, but also when you're down by 11 points and there's nothing you can really seem to do offensively or defensively to slow down New York, it makes it a little tough to go out there with a whole lot of enthusiasm. Great grab there, though, by Philly, getting it right on the goal line. Beautiful throw by Ethan Fortin downfield, just outside the end zone, though. Inside look to Scott Zhu. Zhu dumps it in, and that is going to be a goal for Philadelphia. Mike Arcata, I believe, on the goal there. That is going to be Philly's 13th of the game. They still trail by 10, but that is definitely nothing more than a consolation one.
No, and that's a great layout grab by Ethan Fortin to keep possession for Philadelphia. And then his huge throw downfield to keep it moving.
Fortin been doing that over and over again tonight. He has been excellent in terms of saving possession for Philadelphia. As much as Philly has struggled offensively, they would be in a much larger hole if Fortin had not come up with some of these layout grabs. We've got 3.5 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. New York up big time, up by 10 right now. Absolutely no mercy as well. They continue to roll lines out there and looking to put up as many points as you want. At the end of the year, you never know when that point differential may come into play.
Definitely. And as a player, you want to play every single game as 0-0 game to 1. You do not want to let up the gas. That's the most respectful thing you can do with your opponent.
Elliott Lee, again, a small thing, catching the pull for New York, letting them set their offense up and get moving right away. Double team here on Kittredge. Aloro now with the disc in the middle of the field. Looking to Zalk. Unable to find her. Instead, we go to Yacht. Yacht winding up and taking a deep shot. Looking for Zalk. Zalk is going to get outpaced, though. I don't even know if Zalk would have been able to get there regardless. That was tailing off to the left. Tough throw again from Yacht.
Yeah. Lexi with her first game with the Empire, really showing her presence on their field.
Had a really strong performance today. Had a really nice throw in the first half to get it to Jeff Babbitt to end it, as well as a goal earlier as well from Ben Yacht. Yacht getting the D right there on Ryan Brown, getting it right back. He knows he threw that one away, so he had to get it back for himself.
Exactly. Asking Josh Aloro to pick up.
Yeah.
New York setting up as a middle vert stack here.
They've actually departed from that a decent amount. Aloro ripping it downfield looking for Bo Kittredge. Going to be a tough toe-tapping chance here, and he just gives up on it. No chance, unfortunately, for Bo to be able to save possession.
And very sadly for the New York Empire, it did not come back into play, which means that the disc has to be moved to the last space it was in the field proper, which happens to be right on the end zone line. So this is a tough break.
That is right on the cone. Definitely makes it an easier opportunity here for Philadelphia. We end up with Danamiano picking up on the goal line here. Double team coming from Kittredge. A little hammer over the top. Excuse me, scuba over the top. Excellent footing work by Brandon Pastor as he gets himself into the end zone for the Philadelphia score. 2 minutes to go now, 23-14. Philadelphia still trailing, but not giving up quite yet. They're looking to make sure they don't let this game get too out of hand.
No, and New York Empire's offense looks fine. They're jogging back with their head up. They're ready to play again. They're not letting that throw kind of get in their heads. It was a great look. Bo was open. It was close.
Simple execution error.
Simple
Josh
execution
missed that
error.
only by maybe
Yeah.
a couple of feet there. So, and then on a throw that long, that's not really saying a whole lot. Let's give Philadelphia credit, though. That is their first break of the night. Now,
It is,
finally, I believe, 46 minutes into the game. Not when you want to have your first break, but a break nonetheless. So, really a strong performance by this New York offense all game long. First time we've seen them slip up and give up a score. Back on O, though, is the same line. I don't think Eileen Murray has made any changes. Showing the confidence she has in this O-line despite the score.
Great cut by Josh.
Aloro wide open again. Kittredge work in the middle of the field. Interesting little hammer over the top.
Yeah.
Yacht downfield. Thought about taking the shot. Instead goes inside to Zalk, who juggles it and manages to bring it in. Finds Elliott Lee again. Lee has been very steady all game long. Not making any superhero plays by any means, but has been a steady contributor to this New York O-line.
In his first game for New York Empire.
Really good job, clearly, of seamlessly transitioning him in. And I'm sure that week of practice has done him a lot of good to get out there knowing that he was going to be playing. But
exactly.
It definitely helps come out there for your confidence when you get out there. And
Aletta with a wonderful
like,
throw.
Just enough defensive pressure there to knock it away. A minute left here as Philly looks to try and get one more back on the board. Esser cutting deep. Instead going back to Greg Martin in the middle of the field. Giorgio finding Scott Ju. Double team here from Yacht. Ju splitting that right away. Finding Martin. Martin upfield. Finding Nardelli. Good cutting downfield right now from Philadelphia. Almost looking at the break side there. Thought they were going to take that shot. Esser putting it way out to space looking for Greg Martin. Martin catching it just outside the end zone. Dishing it in. And that is going to be another goal for Philadelphia. Second break in a row now for Philly. Fortunately, it's a little bit too little too late, but they still count it, making it 23-15, 32 seconds to go right now. Really, really nice throw here from Philly over the top.
Some great, confident offense.
Matt Esser just taking a shot over the top there, finding Greg Martin, trusting a trust throw, especially when you got Ben Yacht guarding him. That is not an easy look to hit by any means.
It looks like Philadelphia is getting their act together and understanding what the offense needs to do. But, again, like you were saying, it's a little too late.
Yeah, definitely not going to help them with this game. But still a positive sign for Philly to carry into their next game. Definitely going to be something they'll have to continue to rely on as they go forward. It just gives them, it gives you a little bit of confidence no matter what the scoreline is when you can finally start pulling in some breaks.
And especially with last week's game being canceled, they will have to see New York Empire again. So that game will be rescheduled and they will have a chance to use what they learn here or there.
Absolutely, they're going to have to come back at some point and have to match up with this team once again. Wouldn't be surprised if we see them play a much closer game the next time around, especially if it's down in Philadelphia. Philly, a tough team to beat at home.
Mike Dross being poached.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, this game's just about over. We're winding down now. Looking like we're going to get a New York Empire win. And we got a call here from the official.
A travel?
I believe it's a pick down field. So we're going to get moved back another 10 yards here. New York centering it once again to Matt Weintraub. Only needs to complete one more throw to run out the clock. Oh, now we've got one last throw. Weintraub can hang on to it. He'll continue to fake gratuitously, move the handler movement, wants to get his completion percentage up. And that'll do it for the New York Empire as the drum line starts playing here in celebration. 23-15 is your final score here from Joseph F. Facina Field in New Rochelle. Excellent game from this New York Empire team all the way around. Offensively, defensively, special teams, if you want to say. Ivan Murray had these guys prepared today. Really, really strong performance from this whole Empire team.
Happy birthday to you, Coach Murray. I do not think you could have asked your players to play a better game.
Absolutely not. Really strong showing all the way around. Had some great performances from Josh Aloro. Finishes 2 goals and 4 assists. Ben Yacht, who, as always, is an offensive force. 3 goals and 4 assists for him. And you end up with a nice, strong showing from Matt Aletta as well. 3 goals. Ben Katz with 6 points as well on the afternoon. I guess the evening, I should say. And a really strong showing from some of these early players. We got 2 different players. Lexi Zalk and Norito just both scoring their first AUDL goals.
Yeah, and we want to, again, take this opportunity to thank our sponsors here with the New York Empire. We want to thank Discraft, Chubb Insurance, MatchFit Performance, Rye Ford Subaru, and the Ice Cold Drumline, who has been wonderful tonight.
Definitely a really, really fun group to have out here. They had an excellent halftime performance. It made it a lot more fun to enjoy halftime for sure up here in this booth. We were enjoying it. The fans were enjoying it. And I have a feeling that they will be here the rest of the year as well.
They
will. The fans,
they
are very well received. They're all swagged out in their Empire gear. As Ben Yacht getting the player of the game nomination tonight. Very well deserved. 3 goals and 4 assists. Doing a little bit of everything on defense as well. Coming in there, and now he'll sign a disc and toss it out into the crowd. Scott Zhu getting the first look at it, though. I don't really know how many New York fans are going to be super pumped about getting a disc from Philadelphia, but the fight is on for the disc from Yacht. Got it right up in the back row. Very nice throw from Yacht, as we saw from him over and over again tonight. So that'll do it. Impressive win for the New York Empire. One they definitely needed. The next time you'll see the New York Empire playing again, they will be back out taking on another Eastern Conference foe. They will be playing against the DC Breeze. They will be down in DC for that one on Saturday, May 26th. So next weekend. Really, really good game here at Joseph F. Facina Field for for a lot of names we're throwing out there. For Amelia Murphy, I am Chris McGlynn. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And nice Empire win to get the season going again.